How do you start squash in a low tunnel? Hi there, this is Big Spruce Rabbitry, and squash are hot weather plants, so if you're going to grow them in Alaska where we get late frosts, you need to be able to give them protection. So I'm going to show you how to set up a low tunnel today made out of random junk that we found at the dump in this bed that I prepared earlier. I prepared this garden bed about 2 weeks ago, but since I didn't plant it immediately, I covered it with plastic to protect the soil. I'm now going to pull it up. This greenhouse plastic I'm actually going to also use to cover my hoops when it's done, but I need to shake all the dirt out of it. It stayed nice and moist. We found these hoops at the dump and they are bent a bit, so the final product will probably look a little janky, but it will still keep my plants warm. I'm going to take some of the scrap rabbit wire and use it to make brackets to hold up my hoops. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to make one of these brackets. I'm going to take one of my squares of rabbit wire. I'm going to hold it down using a 1x1, and then I'm just going to smash it over one of my hoops. That's good enough for government work. So with my 4 brackets made, I'm going to get my hoops up. One hoop in. And there we have it, a low tunnel. I don't know, put the plastic on. Okay, so now that we know it will fit, we just have to anchor down the plastic. And this high tunnel is done. I'll put more plastic over the sides at night, and I know it looks pretty janky, but it will grow plants, and every part of it I found at the dump for free. Let's go choose some plants to put in here. I've got a whole lot of winter and summer squash in my greenhouse, and I'm going to try to choose out a few good plants to take out to our low tunnel. Last year I grew 6 squash in the low tunnel bed, and I think they were a little overcrowded, so this year I'm going to grow just 4 squash and plant beans amongst them. Beans and squash are a really good intercrop because the beans add more nitrogen to the soil and tend to grow up, where the squash tend to grow out. I'm definitely going to do a couple of varieties of summer squash in that low tunnel. This yellow zucchini called the gold mine looks like a pretty good plant to put out there. It's very healthy. This gold mine zucchini, which is a yellow zucchini, is ready to plant. It's got a couple of adult leaves and is putting on more. I think this one would be a very good plant to put out there. I'm also going to take this green machine green zucchini, a kabuka squash plant, and a spaghetti squash plant. As an added bonus, I decided to transplant this pie pumpkin that wasn't looking so hot into the middle of the bed. It'll either survive or it won't, but it can be grown out toward the greenhouse and away from the walking path, so why not? This side of the tunnel is going to have a greenhouse, and I'm not going to need to walk through this area often, so I decided to put my long trailing winter squash on this side of the bed, as well as that pumpkin. There is a walking path on the other side of the low tunnel, so I will be doing my summer squash, so my 2 types of zucchini, over here. Squash really do not like to be root bound, and this pumpkin was starting to get there. This side of the low tunnel I'll be putting my summer squash. There's a walking path so I can tend these plants easily. There are also going to be bushy plants that won't spill over the walkway and make it impossible to get through here. So it's a good place to put summer squash. And there's my nice green machine. It's not root bound at all, so this is the perfect time to transplant. Finally, I'll put some King of the Early beans in the middle here. Beans are a great thing to plant with squash. King of the Early beans. So now I have a low tunnel planted in squash and beans. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out our farm store in the description.